down and locate it, never mind bring it out to the surface.
And the overall operation, possibly weeks.
Absolutely. This is not a quick raid or a quick strike. This is an indeterminate amount of time, likely more than a week.
I mean, here's a problem, bro. We can use our naval force. So I don't even think we can open up the Strait of Hormuz. Like I said, it's going to be an all-out fight with our naval vessels and well, man, to be real with you, not only their kamikaze speedboats, but their missiles, the missile defense system on the ports of Iran, on the coast of it. So yeah, Iran, I'm be real with you guys, like we could win, but how much are we willing to lose to win? That's the problem. And also, if we act with too much aggression, are they just going to start decimating energy infrastructure in the Middle East? These are all questions, all questions that we need to take into account before we commit to any type of strikes.
Should they do it, given all of the above?
Considering all of these factors, it's very difficult to see this being a feasible option. To flip it around, if I were an IRGC commander, I've prepared for this scenario, and I would look at this as a potential early birthday present because they know exactly what to do, and they will strike at this hard.
All right, now let's get into... All right, let's pivot off the war for a little bit. Let's get into it right here. Shout out to our guy, Stephen Miller.
Impeachment trigger, here to discuss the impeachment trigger happy Democrat Stephen Miller, White House.
Sid's hey, now every time I play Stephen Miller, I laugh because Sid hates this guy with a burning passion. Actually, all my Democratic homies hate this guy with a burning passion. I still don't get it. I still don't, but it is what it is. I'm be real with you though. What he did with the Renee Good thing though, that was disgusting. The way he tried to call her a terrorist or domestic terrorist, I didn't agree with that at all. But him on domestic policy, though, I can't be too upset. Rhetoric, insane. His wife, crazy.
Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen. So is the White House shaking in its boots over this potential third impeachment with these people? This is insane.
The Democrats are the party of communists, radical leftists, crazy lunatics, and America haters. Every time they have tried to go after President Trump with their hoaxes, their witch hunts, their lies, their scams, fake news, their persecutions, all they've succeeded in doing is making President Trump more popular, more successful, more beloved by the American people, and humiliating themselves in utter disgrace. As President Trump has said,
I get it.
Democrats
that's why I never really go too hard on, trust me. I mean, like I said, all I really disagree with is this war and him kind of walking back to make America great again agenda that he was on. Like, outside of that, I actually do agree with Trump on a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to immigration, how we should be dealing with our economy, trade deals, and all this good stuff. Like, I agree with that. But when it comes to this war, dog, it just walks back all of that right there. I mean, bro, we started for war with Iran. We destabilize the Middle East. We create refugees. Those refugees are going to start flooding America and the UK, period, point blank. And then we're really going to start crying about the Islamists. So I don't get how that helps us there. I mean, it's raising gas prices. We're talking about affordability. That's not being solved. And no new wars. And I know people want to sit there and say, oh, but in the 80s, he was talking about it. And I was like, bro, that's the 80s. I'm pretty sure he's seen the mistakes from that interview and he changed his position, which he told us in 2016. So I'm sorry, but bringing up a conversation from the 80s is irrelevant. Let's talk about what he was saying in modern day, which was no new wars with Iran. Going into the Middle East is a bad idea. Well, no new wars, and then war with Iran's a bad idea. He even condemned Obama for even thinking about it. So here we are championing something that he condemned another president for even thinking about doing. Like, do y'all hear yourselves right now? Mag, I'm talking to y'all.
are only good at two things: sticking together and cheating. That's all they're good at. Their policies are terrible, unpopular, and hated. Open borders, record crime.
You know, I'll give you that. You know what? No, it said I gave that one. He said, why wouldn't I hate him when he has such nice things to say about people like me? And you're right. He says, oh, the Democratic Party, a party of American haters. You know what? I'm not going to say that. I'd say they're very concerned Americans. Maybe overly concerned, but I don't think they don't hate America. Leftists, now on the far left, they hate America. They do actually. But liberals, Democrats, most of them, no, they actually love America. They just don't like who's in charge. And we can't confuse that for hating America. It's like I said, it's like I don't stand for Trump. I stand for what Trump was, well, I'm campaigning on. I stand for America first, not Trump. And I think if you ask a Dem, they feel the same way. I mean, even if you ask them about Biden, it's like, yo, we stood for a return to normalcy, getting Donald Trump out of there, getting back to, well, I don't know too much of what the vision was with Biden. All I know is that it was always about a return to normalcy. And we thought I guess y'all thought y'all was going to get better, but really I got chaotic. So sorry about that one. But what I really tried to say is that I think I might have lost my train of thought on that one. But what I'm really trying to say is that no, Dems, they don't hate America. They're just concerned in the direction that America is going. And if we're to be fair, as conservatives or Republicans, the only thing we can do is at least try to give them our argument instead of trying to call them haters or what. Or what, panicans, libtard, not, well, we're the panicans, but are libtards. At least try to explain our position to them. If they don't want to even listen to it, then you can sit there and call them a libtard. But if they're at least willing to listen to your position, then okay. But I'm be honest with you, it's more of a concern. I don't really see the Democratic Party as haters. Now, I mean, most of them is just concerned. There are some of them that just truly are haters. They don't want nothing to do with anybody who's Republican. They don't want to hear anything Trump is saying. Everything he does is bad. He woke up and breathed this morning. That was the worst thing that happened on earth. Like, that's how some of these guys think, but not all of them.
Time, coddling criminals, massive taxes, shutting down American energy, shutting down American oil production, transgender for kids, transgender for everybody, radical indoctrination in our schools, and
Now, hold on. Not all Democrats are down for the transing of children. Even they condemn the leftists on that one. But the whole green initiative, yeah, y'all all are on that. Like that whole green initiative that actually ended up making energy more expensive, like energy costs, especially when it comes to your light bill. Yeah, you guys are all on board on that one. That was across the board. The leftists, liberals, everybody in the Democratic Party was down with the green agenda. And it didn't really work out so well for us. Well, Americans.
And surrendering to our enemies at home and abroad. That's the Democrat Party. That's what President Trump is fighting against each and every day, Laura.
Yeah, well, impeachment is easier than.
And you know what, Dems? If I can give you a little bit of advice, can y'all just condemn the whole transing kids thing? That's all we need. Just condemn the whole men and women's sports. Don't gaslight us and hit us with the, well, said it doesn't even happen that much. Why are you concerned? Bro, it shouldn't even be happening once. How is that an argument? Just condemn it and we can move on. Just tell y'all politicians stop with the bullshit and we can move on. I mean, then we can't even use it against you no more. Don't hit us with the, oh, it's only like a 1% like of that happening. Bro, just condemn it. That's all we're asking. All we're asking. Just condemn it and tell your politicians to cut the bullshit. You don't believe in it either. Why are you even arguing for it?
Actually governing, right? They're not about governing. They want to rule over us, not actually govern the country. But Stephen, during this presser,
dead ass. If you ask most Dems, do you believe in transing kids? They'll tell you no. But then they'll also say, but oh, it's like a 1% issue that are not even happening that much times. It's like, dude, you don't even agree with it.
On the DHS shutdown issue, Minority Leader Schumer seemed to blame you for letting this drag on. Watch.
Republicans seem to have a different priority. $140 billion for ICE and Border Patrol. No reforms, no accountability, no strings attached. Senate Republicans are choosing to follow Trump and Stephen.
No, I ain't gonna lie, Sid. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. He said, according to Stephen Miller, I'm a communist lunatic terrorist that wants to hurt children. And that is the wild rhetoric about some people on the right, is that they literally try to paint all Democrats as just these evil people that want to destroy America, along with the Islamists that they kind of fuse y'all together with. I know, it sucks, right?
Miller?
Sorry, guys.
Instead of the needs of the American families.
So are you going to confess on the show tonight, Steve? You're the one who's preventing DHS from getting this funding bill that it needs.
President Trump has presided over the most successful, secure, strong border in the history, not only of this country, but of any country in the entire Western world. In other words, not just in America, but every other country's talked about securing its borders. Italy, France.
Hey, and shout out to my man Lower Esco. He sent a gold coin for 10 jewels. Appreciate the support, my friend. And like I said, guys, you can send a super chat, gift, Venmo, don't really matter. I appreciate the support either way. And if you can't do that, hey, double tap that screen and like the video, man. Appreciate the support.
England, all across the world. Only one man in one country has actually succeeded in securing its sovereign borders, and that man and that leader is President Trump. The Democrat Party committed war crimes against this nation by flooding our country with foreign terrorists. Tren de Aragua, MS-13, the Mexican Mafia, the Sinaloa Cartel, the most violent, ruthless terrorist organizations on planet Earth to maim, rape, and murder our people. Every single day, you read another horror story about a rapist, a murderer.
Yeah, but hold on now, dog. Hold on now. Remember, they did it for the same reason that the Republicans did it under Reagan, was to pretty much just sell out to the corporate agenda. Now these guys got cheaper labor to work their farms and their factories and all this good stuff. Like, no, they're doing it for the same reason that, well, Reagan did it back in the day. So let's just be fair on that. They're not doing it just to let in and like, and I think that's where the Dems kind of get pissed off at us. It's like, whoa, you're really telling people that we let in illegals to rape like Americans? I mean, that was the end result. So I'm be real with you guys. Like Dems, you got to hold yourselves accountable on that. All right, you're like, look, yeah, we did open the border, but it wasn't to rape Americans. Like, come on now. But I'm gonna be real. Y'all do not like to talk about that border like too much. But let's be real. Due to the lack of effort on the border. I mean, children were trafficked. I mean, millions of people, 10 million encounters doesn't mean that they made it over. 10 million encounters from what we got from DHS. Oh, it was about what, 4 to 7 million illegals coming over. And that's conservative numbers, by the way. So I'm sorry, but they have every, like Republicans, we on this side, we have every right to be mad at you guys about the immigration effort. But Republicans, we shouldn't sit there and say that, yo, they did it to rape American citizens. I mean, to undermine us for sure. Rape us. I mean, that's just one of the terrible end results that for some reason they don't like to address. I mean, come on, guys. And that's also one thing y'all need to address too. The fact that y'all let in these illegals and it did end up hurting American citizens. And, when we call that out, I mean, y'all really shouldn't try to, move the goalposts on that. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, look, y'all want to move if y'all don't move the goalposts on that, we won't move the goalposts on Renee Good and Alex Preddy. All right, fair is fair.
Thug, a monster, a child predator let into this country by the Democrats, attacking our families, attacking our children, preying on the innocent in our high schools, in our colleges, dragging people to their deaths, beating them senseless, hacking them to death with machetes. That's what you're seeing from Democrat policies. President Trump, by contrast, record deportations, record low crime, record border security, record safety for American citizens.
I want to get to what happened today at the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. It has issued a ruling to block the Trump administration's executive order that suspended asylum access at the southern border. The court ruled that immigration laws allow people to apply for asylum at the border.
I don't like the asylum laws because, bro, a lot of people, they just lie. Like they're really not running from their country, or they're running from their country because they've committed heinous crimes, and now we're just gonna let them in because they got a sad story to sell us. Like, I don't think we should be accepting people under those terms. And if we're not going to verify the story, then we really need to shut this program down, because one of the main complaints out of this is that there's no double checking or corroboration of the stories that they're telling us. They just sell us an Academy Award winning and Oscar winning sad story, and we just let them in.
And that the president cannot bypass this, can't circumvent that. Your response tonight?
Well, of course, this is another example of radical left lawfare. Look, it's what Democrats do. I mean, this is the country we're living in today. The Democrat Party, the ACLU, the SPLC, the radical left, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, on down, their lawyers, their organizations, their NGOs. What do? They wake up in the morning and say, how do we flood America with illegals from the third world? That's what animates them. That's what excites them. That's what motivates them. It's just another example of that, of Democrats trying to pry open our borders. It will fail. And President Trump, obviously, his Department of Justice will appeal this ruling, and he will continue to use every resource we have, military.
But you know what's so funny, though? Stephen Miller says that. He does. But let me show you this article real quick, guys. Let me show you something. So, MAGA erupts as Republicans push to offer a path to undocumented migrants. Yeah, it does seem like the Republicans are kind of turning against Trump right now, especially due to this war in Iran, the way the ICE operations has been carried out, which now, man, fuck. Now I actually got to give a little bit of credit to Sid because he was kind of right. The man was saying, look, bro, you keep on, if this keeps on going at this pressure, it's going to look really bad for the president. But what Sid didn't predict was that Republicans were going to start going and pushing for amnesty. I know he didn't see that one coming, but he did see I would say a bad outcome for the constant pressure of ICE and it not being reeled in or having any type of guidelines. And here's the thing. I disagree with him on, his guideline argument. I honestly think it's because that the local officials don't want to help ICE, and this will make some act, and this what makes it seem like such a reckless operation because protesters are getting in the way. ICE officers got to do the job, and now they got to do protest work and their operations. But either way, though, we can still put the blame on the government for not really doing enough to, I would say, to create a safer environment for ICE operations. They kind of did let it get out of control, especially in Minnesota, but I will blame that one on Tim Walz. I'll blame him on that one. But I mean, that's it. I got to give it to you. You did say that, hey, this is going to lead to, well, some very bad things. You didn't predict this, though. Now, let's read it, though. A bipartisan immigration bill is exposing cracks within the Republican Party, with lawmakers openly clashing over whether the legislation represents long-sought reform or a form of amnesty for undocumented migrants. The bill is at the center of the dispute is known as the Dignity Act. It was introduced last year by Representative Maria Alsalzara, a Florida Republican, and a Democrat Representative, Veronica Escobar. It makes sense that they're Hispanic, but it is what it is, of Texas, but is now making its way through the House. So, how you feeling? Tough, ain't it? And here's the thing. I mean, like I said, I disagree with this still, but like I said, I do see the way they handle it. It was the Renee Good shooting. The way they handle Renee Good shooting to Alex Preddy. Yeah, it's kind of what's leading to this right now. I mean, this is why, and Republicans, this is why I got to hold y'all accountable, or MAGA. Just because it's Trump don't mean it's good. All right, guys, like we've been shown multiple examples how Middle Eastern intervention is not a good thing. But for some reason, because it's Trump, it's all good. We've been like, look what they did with Alex Preddy, Renee Good. As much as I agree with the fact that that guy should not be arrested for the shooting, it doesn't mean that we need to sit there and call her domestic terrorist and ride along with it and then try to slander her name all over the internet, which we tried to do. There was releasing fake criminal history of the young lady. Like, that's unacceptable. Like, we got to hold ourselves accountable and we got to sit there stop trying to defend wrong just because it's Trump. Yeah, over there defending Trump, depicting himself as Jesus because it's Trump. Like, if any other president did this, y'all have lost y'all shit.
Diplomatic, law enforcement, national security that we have to keep the border sealed shut, to keep illegal aliens out of our country.
What happens now?
But again, you're dealing with a Democrat Party that loves nothing more than flooding this country with people who don't belong here. But Laura,
what are you going to do now? You had a Biden judge, you had an Obama judge, then you had the Trump appointee was in dissent. So it's a three-judge panel in the Court of Appeals. I guess this has to go. Presumably,
it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
It'll go to the court.
The president has plenary authority under Section 212F of the INA to prohibit the entry of any class of aliens that he deems necessary. That's the black and white statute.
Got to fast track
the Supreme Court. But in the meantime, I assure you, under President Trump's leadership, every and all tool is being used and will be used to keep that border sealed shut. But look, we are in an existential struggle as a country because we have a movement of people in the Democrat Party who hate borders, hate Americans, hate citizens.
Will you abide by the judge's ruling? Will you, because this is going to be asked by the left, will you abide by the D.C. Circuit's ruling until such a time that the court overturns it?
We have to remember, Laura, the D.C. Circuit upheld an injunction that was equally lawless from the district court injunction. So this doesn't change the current status quo at the border. This is one of the most important cases that exists in the entire country with respect to the president's executive actions. I'm not going to advertise to the cartels. I'm not going to advertise to the smugglers what tools President Trump and Secretary Mullen are deploying, but I can promise you, we are going to keep the border sealed completely, totally, fully shut, and this abomination of a ruling, this abomination of a decision will be appealed. We'll win in front of the Supreme Court. And last point, Laura, you talk about the priorities of the American people, whether it be the economy, whether it be healthcare, whether it be education, whether it be quality of life. What each and every one of those things has in common is that Democrats want to destroy those things with unlimited migration, and President Trump is saving those things by reversing that migration and keeping America safe for the American people.
Bro,
Stephen, great to see you tonight as always. Thank you.
I don't know why, but I just feel like Fox is going to turn on Trump eventually. If this war keeps going on, bro, you're going to start seeing like some, Trump bashing on Fox. You're about to see it soon. I think it's going to come from Laura Ingraham of all people. But we'll see. That's just me making a wild prediction, though. All right, now let's get into independent media. Let's have a little fun, guys. Let's have a little fun. We've been on the serious stuff, but, let's get to some less serious stuff. Well, still somewhat serious because Charlie Kirk assassination is still pretty serious. Tyler Robinson is looking like the evidence is leaning away from him being the assassin, which is wild as hell. But let's get more into that. No sound. Hold on then. My bad. Sometimes the sound cut out. Let me go ahead and get that fixed for you real quick. Because they be doing that retardedness. There we go. Make sure to double tap that screen and like the video as I go ahead and fix this sound real quick. Appreciate the support. And your support helps me fix the sound. Not really. Actually, it just gives me, a little bit more of a boost. But also helps me also make improvement to the show. So, guys, while I go ahead and fix this real quick, please enjoy this nice little clip.
Hey, President Trump, how are those mass deportations going?
They said, you got to lighten up on this. We have a lot of heart for people. They came in illegally, but they're good people, and they're working now on farms.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
Oh. Well, surely no new wars in the Middle East like you've campaigned on for years, right?
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. You're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. The United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
Donald Trump issued an ultimatum to Iran: open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours or America will attack their power plants.
Why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
So we're in very good shape, but we want to be in the best shape.
Oh. So why are we going to war with Iran again?
If we didn't do that B-2 attack, Israel would have been wiped out. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks after that.
Because Israel was determined to act with or without the U.S., our Commander-in-Chief and the administration and the officials I just named had a very difficult decision to make.
Miriam gave my campaign, indirectly and directly, $250 million. She was number one. Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. But they were very responsible for so much, including getting me thinking about Golan Heights.
Oh. Well, I'm sure there will be zero repercussions for this war, and it's probably only going to go on for like a week, right?
As we head into week 4 of this war. As gas prices climb across the country, President Trump pressured allies to help secure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
A major shipping route for oil has effectively been shut down amid this war, sending shockwaves through the markets, with gas jumping nationwide from an average of $2.92 in Kansas to more than $5 a gallon in California.
Look, gas prices are up. And we know they're up, and we know that people are hurting because of it.
Well, at least we as the MAGA movement still collectively agree that child transitioning is wrong, right? Okay. How about those Epstein files?
So this is a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. What this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party had. But don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump? To flag any records which included his name?
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this.
Oh.
Answered nothing.
Well, it kind of seems to me like the Republican president has slowly transitioned into a Democrat president. Hey, MAGA, why are we voting for these people again? One thing is certain. We didn't leave MAGA. MAGA left us. But the question is, are we going to allow that? Or are we going to take the reins from the man who started it all, but has sadly become the opposition to everything that we stand for? Or are we going to continue to lick the boot and bend the knee to people who don't give a shit about us? They use us for our vote. They lie directly to our faces. They protect child predators. They want to grant mass amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. And now they're totally fine with children being mutilated and indoctrinated by their crazy-ass liberal parents. Fuck Trump, fuck Vance, fuck Rubio, fuck the Republican Party as a whole, fuck the Democrats, fuck them all. This is not the shit that we signed up for. Wake the fuck up.
No, really, wake the F up, guys. Because like I said, I didn't walk away from MAGA.